আচ্ছা, এবারে আমি শুরু করে দিচ্ছি ক্লাস। In the last class, we discussed about different types of line supports and poles. So these are the drawings of different types of towers, supporting towers. Now, the last topic we covered were the different types of vibration that occur in overhead transmission lines. So there are three types of vibration. One is Aeolian vibration or resonant vibration. Another one is galloping and dancing or slit jump. আচ্ছা, শুনতে পাচ্ছ তো?
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম।
Okay, so unless controlled, the vibrations may damage the conductor and other parts of the system. So that is why some prevention method for vibration is needed. There are two types of prevention methods are used. One is armor rods and another one is stock bridge damper. This is a picture of armor rod. Okay, so this is a insulating material, insulator, and the conductors are there on both side of the insulator, and these are the armor rod. So basically, the armor rod consists of layer of rods wrapped spirally around the conductor for a short distance on either side of the point of support. Okay, they provide reinforcement of conductors at suspension points and reduce the amplitude of vibration from 10 to 20%. They relieve and redistribute the stresses at the support point. So these uh, armor rods are basically made of rugged non-metallic material that has tight helix on one end. So this end is basically has a tight helix and it is basically attached to the conductor, and the remaining helices have an inner diameter that is larger than the conductor or wire. So this side is larger, the diameter of this side is larger than the conductor diameter. Okay. Uh, so they basically this type of armor rods or this type of prevention method is used to protect the conductor from aeolian vibration. Okay, the impact pulses from the damper disrupt and negate the motion produced by the wind. They also serve as protection against the flashover because non-metallic materials are used. Next one is stock bridge damper. So stock bridge type vibration damper is commonly used to control vibration of overhead conductors. The vibration damper has length of steel messenger cable. Two metallic weights are attached to the end of the messenger cable. So if you see the picture, this is the stock bridge damper. Okay, so the messenger cable is there, and at the two ends, two heavy metals are attached with it, and this is the transmission line, or this is the conductor, and it is connected to the conductor like this. Okay, so the center clamp which is attached to the messenger cable is used to install the vibration damper onto the overhead conductor. While placing the damper, the following specifications are taken into account span and terrain condition, suspension types, conductor self-damping, and other factors to provide a specific location in the span where the damper or dampers will be most effective. Okay, so how the damper work? Now, when the damper is placed on the vibrating conductor, movement of these weights will produce bending of the steel strand. This is standard steel messenger cable. So this will cause bending of the strand. So this bending of the strand causes the individual wires of the strand to rub together and dissipate the energy that is produced due to the vibration. Okay, the size and shape of the weights and overall geometry of the damper influence the amount of energy that will be dissipated for specific vibration frequencies. An effective damper design must have the proper response over the range of frequencies expected for a specific conductor and span parameters. Okay, so this is how the dampers are connected in a circuit. Okay, these three are basically the stroke gauge dampers. Okay, next is while designing this uh, tower or this designing of the tower, basically the important factor that has to be considered is the height of the tower. Okay, now height of the tower, how this height of the tower will be decided? Now, that depends on different factors. So if we take this particular tower in or supporting tower in consideration, we can see that this is a lattice tower with double circuits. Okay, so basically six conductors are attached on both sides of the tower vertically. Okay, so vertical configurations are used for conductor and it is a double circuit structure. And the earth wire একদম প্রথম দিনে যখন কম্পোনেন্ট গুলো পড়িয়েছিলাম আমরা বলেছিলাম যে one earth wire is present to protect the conductor from lightning. Okay, so this earth wire runs above the topmost conductor. Okay, that means the earth wire is attached here and it will run along with this conductor from this point to the next tower. Okay, so the now these conductors, all of these six conductors, they are hanging freely between two adjacent towers. Okay, so if we see this picture, so this is how they are connected. এখানে only one is shown here, but obviously there are conductors here also, and the earth wire is also present here. Okay, so basically this is the form the conductor takes when it is hanging freely between two adjacent towers. Okay, so this form is called catenary. Now because basically that means that the conductor our mainly what is the aim now? Just uh, attach the conductor from this point to that point, but theoretically it should be horizontal to or parallel to the ground. Okay, but because of its own weight it will take this form, it will not remain horizontal. Okay, so obviously due to this the height of the conductor is not same at this point and this point, isn't it? So the factors that has to be considered this for designing the or for deciding the height of the towers The factors are key factor, minimum ground clearance. Minimum ground clearance means not this one. Okay, as this conductor is taking a form of a catenary, so it will have a lowest point. Okay, so the uh, vertical distance between the lowest point and the ground, that is considered as the minimum ground clearance. Okay, so this minimum ground clearance is obviously required for safety purpose. So this has to be considered. So it will depend on the weight of the conductor and also tension on the conductor. Okay. Next one is, so this is H4, minimum ground clearance. Another factor is the maximum sag. So sag means, what is sag? The sag is this this much. Okay, that means the distance between this vertical distance between the lowest point and the horizontal line that is connecting these two supporting or two adjacent towers. Okay, so this distance is this H3 is basically the sag, maximum sag. So third one is the spacing between the conductors, H2. Okay, so last conductor, the spacing between this conductor and this conductor, that will also be an a fact that is also has to be considered for calculating the height. And the last but not the least is the clearance between the topmost conductor and the earthward. So basically the height of the tower H will be equal to H1 plus H2 plus H3 plus H4. Okay. So basically clearance between, let us discuss about the clearance from the ground. So basically clearance from ground means always considered as the clearance between lowest point and the ground. Now this here the ground is shown horizontal, but say in hilly areas the ground will not be horizontal, isn't it? So here we can say that the lowest point is in the middle of the span length. But if the tower height is at different towers are at different heights, then obviously this shape will change and the minimum clearance point will also change. So let us just see the example. আমার কাছে একটা ছবি আছে। আচ্ছা, এটা ছবিটা মনে হয় এখানে অ্যাড করা হয়নি। ঠিক আছে, so basically if the height is different, so say the high this tower is here, okay, then the conductor shape will be somewhat like this. Okay, yes. Oh, it, so this shape will be like this. So in this case the minimum ground clearance, the lowest point is here. Okay, so minimum ground clearance will depend on the distance between this and the conductor. Okay, so minimum ground clearance can be either can be at the lowest point or somewhere else also, depending on the ground. Okay. So there is a particular rule for this ground clearance. Now, for safety purposes, we know that a particular ground clearance has to be maintained at all loading conditions. Okay, so this clearance will depend on the system voltage. Now, in India, according to the Indian Electricity Act, a clearance of 17 feet, that is 5.18 meter, to be provided for 33 kV line, and for every additional 33 kV or part thereof, additional 1 feet or 0.3048 meter is to be provided. Okay, so basically, uh, 30 for first 33 kV line, the minimum ground clearance will be 5.18 meter, and if the line is 66 kV, then obviously the clearance will be 5.18 plus 0.3048 meter. Okay, that is 6.1 meter. Sorry, 6.1 was 5.49 meter. Okay, now Indian Electricity Rule 1956 for overhead transmission lines is the important factors regarding the design. There are different rules, like Rule 74 is about the material strength and materials and types and their strength. Okay. Then Rule 75 is about joints. Rule 76 is about maximum stress and factor of safety. Okay. Then Rule 77 is about the clearance from the ground. And there is also Rule 80 that is for horizontal clearance between conductor and the structure. So, Rule 77 is about the clearance above the ground of the lowest conductor. So, these are the measurements that are given according to the rule. Okay, so for low and medium voltage, the minimum clearance across any street will be 5.8 meter. Along any street will be 5.5 meter. Elsewhere 5.6 meter. Elsewhere, if insulated, 4 meter. Then for high voltage up to 11 kV, similarly, across any street, it will be minimum clearance will be 6.1 meter. Along any street, 5.8 meter. Elsewhere, 4.6 meter. And above 11 kV, that is for 33 kV, across any street, it is 6.1. Along any street, it is 5.8, and elsewhere, it is 5.2. So, basically, if we just consider any other place, the minimum clearance for 33 kV will be 5.2 meter. That is ওই আগে যেটা বললাম 5.18 meter, 17 feet to be exact. Okay, and then it will change ওই আগে যে রুলটা বললাম. So for extra high voltage, for EHV lines, the clearance above ground shall not be less than 5.2 meter plus 0.3048 meter for every 33 kV or part thereof by which the voltage of the line exceeds 33 kV, provided that the minimum clearance along or across any street shall not be less than 6.1 meter. So, অন্যান্য জায়গায় 5.2 meter আর along the street it will be 6.1 meter. And তারপরে ইনক্রিমেন্টটা হবে ওই for each 33 kV 0.3048 meter করে. Okay, so according to this rule, the values for various voltages from 66 to 400 kV are given here. 66 এর জন্য 5.49, 132 এর জন্য 6.1, 220 kV এর জন্য 7.01 and 400 kV এর জন্য 8.84. Now এটা ক্যালকুলেট করেও বার করা যায় নরমালি. আগে পরীক্ষার সময় এটা দেওয়া হতো বেসিক্যালি. ধরো কোনো ভোল্টেজ দেওয়া হলো যে এই ভোল্টেজের জন্য আমার মিনিমাম গ্রাউন্ড ক্লিয়ারেন্স কত হবে. সো দিস ক্যান বি ক্যালকুলেটেড. এখন পিপিটিটাই দেখাচ্ছে, তাই তো? Okay, so let us consider 220 kV কিভাবে ক্যালকুলেট করব আমরা. Now for the first 33 kV, the clearance will be 5.1 meter. Okay. That means for the remaining voltage, that is remaining voltage কত হচ্ছে 187 kV. So if we divide this 187 divided by 33, that is basically 5.66. We are getting 5.66. So that means total 6 times increment will be there. 5.66, that is 5 times, and 0.66 part এর জন্য another increment will be considered. So total 6 increment will be considered. That means the total clearance will be H4 will be 5.18 plus 6 into 0.3048. So that will be ওই যেটা দেওয়া আছে এখানে 7.01 মিটার। সো তোমরা যদি ক্যালকুলেট করে দেখো, you will get 7.01 মিটার। and another process is, এটা আমরা মিটারে না নিয়ে ফিটেও নিতে পারি। ফিটে কি বলেছে 17 and 1 foot করে increment. Okay, so for the first 33 kV 17 plus কটা increment বললাম 220 এর জন্য 6টা, so plus 6 feet, so that means it will be 23 feet. So 23 feet মিটারে এলে ওই 7.0105 মিটার মতো আসবে। Okay, so this is how the calculation for this minimum ground clearance is done. Okay, so similarly, as there is a rule for ground clearance, similarly there is a rule for the horizontal clearance between the conductor and the structure also. So this rule is rule 80 subsection 2 stipulates that horizontal clearance between the nearest conductor and any part of the structure shall be based on maximum deflection due to the wind pressure. Okay, so in this case, it should not be less than 1.219 meter up to 11 kV and 1.829 meter up, from 11 to 33 kV. And for EHV lines, 1.829 meter plus ওই আগের যেটা ছিল 0.3048 meter for every additional 33 kV and part thereof. Okay, so basically horizontal এর বেলাতে এটা হচ্ছে 1.829 meter plus 0.3048 meter for every 33 kV and part thereof. Okay, so this is basically কোন ডিসটেন্সটা, এই যে এই ডিসটেন্সটা horizontal ডিসটেন্সটা, structure the horizontal distance between the structure and the conductor. So these rules has to be considered while designing a supporting structure. Okay. Next, while designing transmission line and conductors, stress is given on following main mechanical considerations. Kiki na adequate clearance of conductor from ground at maximum conductor temperature and minimum loading condition. The conductor should not break due to worst condition of ice loading, wind pressure, or worst ambient conditions. At worst condition, the conductor is not stressed to the values greater than its ultimate strength divided by its factor of safety. So factor of safety is basically the ratio between the ultimate strength of the conductor and the working tension. Okay, so say the factor of safety for a particular conductor is given as 2, then obviously the working tension at worst condition should not exceed half of the ultimate strength, half the value half of the ultimate strength. Okay. Next is H3, that is maximum sag. So next we will have to calculate the sag and tension of the line. Okay. So আগের ছবিটা যদি দেখি, so এটা গেল হচ্ছে গিয়ে গ্রাউন্ড ক্লিয়ারেন্স। ওকে, নাও এবারে কি আমাদের স্যাগটাও ক্যালকুলেট করে দেখতে হবে। এই H3টা কি হবে? Sag calculation in conductors made of homogeneous materials such as copper, aluminum is easier. With composite conductors, they become more complicated. The reason of complicacy being different temperature coefficients and tensile strengths for different materials of which the conductors are made. So in these cases, the design engineer should be using sag and tension charts supplied by the manufacturer. এটা পরে আমরা sag and tension চার্টটা আমরা পরে পড়বো। This is called stringing chart. Okay, so this sag and tension chart is given with respect to the temperature. Next, while calculating the sag, these are the terms that will be used. Catenary. Catenary is a line conductor of uniform cross section and material perfectly flexible but inelastic and stretched between two supports, hanging freely under the influence of its own weight, takes the form of a curve called catenary. Span, the horizontal distance between two adjacent support. Then sag, the vertical distance between the lowest point of the conductor and the line joining the two adjacent level support is known as sag. It should be measured along the resultant load on a conductor. So there are two methods. There are two methods to calculate the sag. One is parabolic method and another one is catenary method. Parabolic method is not applicable for longer span as error is not negligible. So it is only applicable where there is not much difference between the span and the conductor length, having span up to 300 meter. So that means basically parabolic method is used where the span length is less than 300 meter and the conductor length is the difference between conductor length and span length is not much. Okay, it is better off to use the catenary method of sag calculation. So next হচ্ছে catenary method of sag calculation. So let us consider a conductor. Say this is the conductor. এই ছবিটা, if we see this drawing, this is the conductor. Okay, the conductor is attached between two towers at point A and point B. Now, as it is hanging freely, so it will take a form like this. Okay, so the span length, that is the horizontal distance between A and B, that is also called span length, is say small l, and the conductor length, that means this length is say capital L. Okay. Now small w is the weight of the conductor per unit length. That means total weight of the conductor will be w into capital L, and the lowest point is O. Okay. So now say assume another point P at a distance of S from this O, that is O P is equal to S. Okay. And another point P dash is very near to P and the distance is say ds. Okay. So at the if we consider this OP, the small length OP, that is S, then the forces that will act on it are কি forces এখানে কাজ করছে? One is this horizontal tension H, another one is weight of this this portion of the conductor that will কোথায় act করবে না, it will act at the point of center of gravity. Okay, so the weight per unit length is W, so total weight is Ws, so Ws will act here at the middle. Okay, and another force is T. T is at the tangent at a point P, so this Pt is another force. So for equilibrium condition, these three forces will meet at point M. Say this angle is, here it is given as psi, or we can এখানে যেটা লেখা আছে এই যে this let us consider this drawing. So basically this angle is say theta. মানে একটু গন্ডগোল হয়েছে, সেটা হচ্ছে this is এখানে psi লেখা আছে, এখানে theta লেখা আছে, so either we can write all of them as psi or all of them as theta. Okay. So at this point, in equilibrium condition, this H will be equal to T cos theta if we take this angle as theta, and Ws will be equal to T sin theta. Okay, and if we consider another point P dash very near to P, then these coordinates will be ds, dy and dx. So this angle will also be, so this is basically parallel to mx, so this angle will also be theta. So this t cos theta can also be written as dx, and t sin theta will also be equal to dy. So basically tan theta is equal to ws by h or dy by dx. Okay, বুঝতে পারছো? Okay, so ds square is equal to dx square plus dy square. If we take that triangle, so if we divide both the sides by dx, it will be ds by dx square is equal to 1 plus dy by dx square, or dx is equal to ds divided by root over 1 plus dy by dx whole square. Now dy by dx, আগের ইকুয়েশনটা থেকে we can say that dy by dx is ws by h, so we can replace it and the equation will be dx is equal to ds by root over 1 plus ws by h square. Okay, so if we integrate both the parts, If we integrate both the parts, so this will become a hyperbolic function, because this integration of dx by root over a square plus x square is equal to hyperbolic sine inverse x by a. So this equation can be written in this form, and if we integrate it, so it will become x is equal to h by w sin h inverse ws by h plus c1, where c1 is constant. So in the initial condition, if we consider the initial condition, is at O. Point O means the lowest point. At lowest point, x is equal to 0. Okay, s is equal to also 0. So this equation will become 0. This equation. So from here we can see 1 is equal to 0. Okay. So we can write that x is equal to h by w sin h inverse ws by h. Okay. So s can be written as w by h sin h ws by h. Okay. Also, from this equation, dy by dx is equal to ws by h. This equation can be written as the dy is equal to ws by h into dx. So this ws by h, from here, this ws by h can be replaced by this sine hyperbolic. Okay, so this is equal to sine h ws by h into dx. So again, if we integrate both the sides, then we will get y is equal to h by w cos h wx by h plus c2. So to get c2, if we consider the initial condition, that is O, then x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0. So এই ইকুয়েশনে যদি আমরা x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0 বসাই, then will be, this equation will become like this. So c2 will be equal to minus h by w. Okay. So this equation will become y is equal to h by w into cos h omega x by ws by h minus 1. Okay, so this is equation 2. This equation is called equation of catenary. Now, for the tension, t square cos square theta plus t square sin square theta is equal to h square plus omega square. এটা কোথা থেকে পাচ্ছি আমরা? সো এটাও আমরা পাবো এই একদম ইনিশিয়াল যে ইকুয়েশন গুলো লিখেছিলাম এখান থেকে। সো বেসিক্যালি টি স্কোয়ার কস স্কোয়ার থিটা ইজ ইকুয়াল টু এইচ স্কোয়ার, টি স্কোয়ার সাইন স্কোয়ার থিটা ইজ ইকুয়াল টু ওমেগা স্কোয়ার। সো টি স্কোয়ার কস স্কোয়ার থিটা প্লাস টি স্কোয়ার সাইন স্কোয়ার থিটা ইজ ইকুয়াল টু এইচ স্কোয়ার প্লাস ওমেগা স্কোয়ার। সো এখান থেকে আমরা পাবো হচ্ছে গিয়ে এই ইকুয়েশনটা। So from here t square is equal to h square plus omega s square. Now omega s is equal to h sin h omega s by h, আগের ইকুয়েশন আমরা দেখেছি। তো এটাকে যদি আমরা এখানে রিপ্লেস করি, then we will get t square is equal to h square plus h square sin h square omega x by h. So 1 plus sin h square omega x by h is cos h omega x h. So এখান থেকে আমরা লিখতে পারি t equal to h cos h omega x by এইচ। তোমরা এই পুরো ডেরিভেশনটা যদি হাতে করে দেখো তাহলে বুঝতে পারবে ভালো। এখানে অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমি নর্মালি ক্লাসে যখন পড়াই এগুলো চক এন্ড বোর্ডে পড়াই, সুবিধা হয়। So these are the three equations we got from derivation. Kiki, S is equal to H by W into sin H omega x by H. Y is equal to H by W cos H omega x by H minus 1. And T is equal to H cos H omega x by H. Now, if we consider this P point to be at B, okay, আমরা আগে কি করেছি না, this P point is taken, this P point is taken at any point in between O B. Okay, now if we, so that is why we have got the these three equations. Now if this P point is here at B, that means OB will basically is S. S is equal to OB. That means S at that time what will be the value of S? S is equal to half of the conductor length. Okay, conductor length is AOB. So OB is half of the conductor length L by 2. So if this point is now considered here, then S is equal to L by 2. And what will be X? So X basically this horizontal line. Okay, that means A line ta. So this is half of the span length, that is capital sorry, small L by 2. And what is Y? So এখানে y হচ্ছে এটা, তার মানে এখানে y হবে b from b to x, that is this distance, that is the maximum sag. Okay, so this maximum sag, if the maximum sag is denoted by capital D, then y will be equal to d. So in these three equations, if we replace this S is equal to L by 2, X is equal to small L by 2, Y is equal to D, and the tension will be, tension at B will be the maximum tension. So T is equal to T max. Then we will get the equation for length of the conductor. So for Y, বললাম S হচ্ছে capital L by 2. So L will be 2 into eta, তাই তো? So the for the length of the conductor will be L is equal to 2h by W into sin h omega L by 2h. এখানে কি ছিল omega x by h, so x is replaced by L by 2, so this has become omega L by 2h. Okay, and y এর ইকুয়েশনে কি বললো, y is the vertical distance, so y is replaced by d, so d will become d is equal to h by W into hyperbolic cosine omega L by 2h minus 1. Okay, so that is the equation for sag. This equation is the equation for calculating sag of a transmission line. And maximum tension T max will be equal to h into cos h omega L by 2h. Now for level support, the maximum sag is the value of y at either support, and the maximum tension occurs at the support. Level support means when the ground is totally horizontal. Okay, the equation derived above give accurate result. The hyperbolic functions involve much labor in calculation. So for this reason, approximations are made to calculate the sag and tension. The hyperbolic functions are expanded and the higher order terms are neglected. The result so obtained are fairly accurate if the sag does not exceed 5% of the span length. Okay. So if we expand this hyperbolic function, we will get the approximate results. So let us take the equation for sag. equation number 2, y is equal to কি ছিল, y is equal to h by w into cos h omega x by h minus 1. Okay, so in this equation, if we expand this cos hyperbolic function, then it can be replaced as 1 plus omega x by h square into 1 by factorial 2 plus omega x by h to the power 4 1 by factorial 4 and so on. Okay, and this minus 1 was already included in the equation. So if we neglect the fourth and higher term, then এই টার্ম গুলো বাদ চলে যাবে। সো দিস 1 minus 1 এই দুটো কেটে যাবে। সো বেসিক্যালি y will be equal to h by w into omega square x square by 2h square. Okay, so the final equation is omega is equal to y is equal to omega x square by 2h. So this equation is basically the equation of parabola. If we use parabolic method, then this equation will be considered. But if we take the catenary method, then obviously the cosine hyperbolic cosine terms has to be considered. Okay. Now at b, this x is replaced by l by 2 and y is replaced by d. So the equation for sag will become d is equal to omega w l square by 8h. W l square by 8h. So this is the equation for the sag, where w is the weight per unit length, l is span length, and h is the horizontal tension. Similarly, the equation of L, if we neglect the higher order terms, then the length of the conductor will become L is equal to small l plus W square LQ by 24 H square. Okay, and so if we replace this H by omega L square by 8D, then this equation will give the relation between the conductor length, sag, and span length. So similarly, approximation can be done in case of tension also. So T max is equal to H plus omega square L square by 8H, and this omega L square by 8 is equal to D. So it can be written as H plus W into D, where D is sag, H is tension, and W is weight per unit length. Now, if the sag is small, then Tmax is approximately equal to the value of H. That means the tension remains constant throughout the length of the conductor if it is assumed to hang in the form of a parabola. The constant values The constant value of the tension is approximately equal to the tension H at the lowest point of the conductor. Unless otherwise stated, the word tension denotes the horizontal component of the tension in a conductor. So basically, when working tension is given, we will consider that this H is given. Okay, not T max. Accuracy of result: while calculating sag, extreme accuracy is not required if the following factors are taken into account: arbitrary value of wind and ice loading selected in the design, inaccuracy in the preparation and plotting of profile survey, intermediate effect of longitudinal flexibility of supports on the sag, in individual span of a complete line, variation in elastic property of the conductor from these assumed in the calculation, arbitrary values of erection temperature, inaccuracy, inaccuracies in adjustment of erection sag in the field. So এখনো অবধি আমরা যে স্যাগ ক্যালকুলেশনটা দেখলাম, দ্যাট ইজ due to that is in normal condition. Okay, there is no wind loading, no ice loading. Also, these profile survey is not done. That means the profile that is taken is totally horizontal. Okay, so nothing is considered here. So if we want this, এই যে আমরা approximations are done, এই যে approximation, the approximation যেগুলো করা হয়েছিল for calculating sag and tension, so these will give accurate result only if we consider this ice loading, wind loading, and also the profile survey, that is different height of the tower, etc. Okay, and also the temperature, because we know that due to temperature the length of the conductor will different, isn't it? Temperature variation এর জন্য length vary করবে. So if we also have to consider all of these. Okay, so next one is support at unequal level. এটা আমরা next দিন পড়বো, আপাতত এতটা অবধি থাক। এতটা অবধি বুঝতে পেরেছো? কেউ আছো আদৌ?
भाई लोग मैम गुस्सा हो गए।